You ever work with that one golden employee? You know the type. They can do no wrong. Every suggestion is brilliant. Every estimate is perfect. Every decision is unquestionable. At least that's how management sees it. And this is what's called the halo effect. It's when someone excels in one area and we automatically trust their judgment for everything else. It's a nasty little cognitive bias that can impact our ability to make objective assessments. So stick around and we'll learn all about it. What's up, UX fam? Welcome to another edition of the Cognition Catalog. Every week, we'll dig into a new cognitive bias and explore how that bias can impact how our team works together and what we can do to ensure we don't get caught up in the pitfalls. Because working with people is hard, and the more insights we have into the human condition makes it just a little bit easier. To learn more about the halo effect, you can find more resources at cognitioncatalog.com. Click the little bell down there so you get notified when a new episode drops so you never have to worry about falling for any of these cognitive biases again. And if you want to pick up some big, beautiful art prints of some select biases, make sure to check out beyonduxdesign.com/shop. Get free shipping on all orders over $30 and use the promo code YouTube to get 10% off your entire order. And as always, thanks so much to Chris, Siraquan, Stacy, Roddy, Megan, Andrew, John, Mark, Kevin, Jason, Michelle, Marty, Tino, Adina, and Zoe for all their support. And if you want to join these fine folks and many others and help keep the show independent and ad-free, you'll get exclusive access to the entire video library of episodes, including episodes before they're even released. You can get instant access to those videos right now for as little as $5 a month. And for more information on how you can support the show and help more people find out about what we're doing, make sure to check out beyonduxdesign.com/support. So have you ever worked with one of those golden employees? The ones that can do absolutely nothing wrong? Well, a while back, I did work with one of those people. After a successful launch, one specific engineering lead became the go-to voice for absolutely everything. Their opinions suddenly carried outsized weight, even in areas where they had very little experience. Database architecture approved without question. Performance optimizations straight to prod. Timeline estimates accepted at face value. So this is the halo effect at work. When someone excels in one area, we automatically trust their judgment for everything else. Their success creates a kind of halo that makes everything they suggest seem golden. Now, don't get me wrong, this engineer was super smart, but I watched valuable perspectives from other team members get constantly overlooked, even when those team members had more relevant expertise. So here's a quick reality check for everybody listening out there. Front-end wizardry does not automatically translate to database expertise. Recent wins shouldn't override years of specialized experience. Success in one project doesn't grant universal authority. Sometimes the best thing we can do as individual contributors is to speak up. So what's the halo effect? Well, we tend to let one positive trait or impression influence our overall evaluation of a person, a brand, or a product. This mental shortcut leads us to make sweeping positive generalizations based on very limited information, and it affects our ability to make objective assessments. This effect was first identified in the early 1900s by American psychologist Frederick Wells. But the actual term halo effect was first coined by a psychologist, Edward Thorndike, in 1920 while he was studying how military officers thought about their subordinates. What he noticed was that officers tended to judge their soldiers' character based on physical qualities and not their actual character. So things like whether or not they cut their hair, if their shirts were tucked in, if they stood up straight, things like that. This created an aura or a halo of positivity or negativity. And this effect is a perceptual error that skews our view of a person, a brand, or a product, and it occurs when our positive impression of one aspect influences our perception of unrelated aspects. And ultimately, this leads to an overly favorable or biased judgment. Apple is a prime example of this effect in action. Apple's reputation for beautifully designed, high-quality products often leads customers to perceive all Apple products as superior, even before they try them themselves. Yet I'm sure everybody listening has experienced a quote-unquote magic mouse dying on them in the middle of the day. Whoops. And it's worth calling out the opposite effect of the halo effect, and that's the horns effect. That's where a negative perception skews all other interactions towards the negative. We'll cover that bias later on. Now, for software teams, the halo effect can significantly impact decision-making and evaluation processes. For instance, when a team member demonstrates excellence in one area, leadership might automatically assume that they'll perform equally well in unrelated tasks, like management, for instance. Now, this can lead to misallocation of resources and ultimately responsibilities. The halo effect may also manifest itself for engineering teams when a developer who writes what the rest of the team might perceive as quote-unquote elegant code does not receive the same level of scrutiny during code reviews from other engineers. Or we might overvalue feedback from articulate or technically skilled individuals during discovery or research. We might assume that their insights are more valuable or more accurate simply because they speak well. And this can lead to product decisions that don't serve the broader user base. This bias can also impact how teams adopt new technologies. So when a popular tech company releases a new framework or a tool, we might automatically assume that it's superior to other existing solutions simply due to its reputation in other areas. This can eventually result in unnecessary changes to the tech stack or adopting unsuitable tools that don't work for our team. All right, so what can you do about the halo effect? Well, there's a reason we always say don't judge a book by its cover, and that's because humans always judge books by their covers. And it's important to recognize that both positive and negative impressions can influence our perceptions beyond the specific context. And while this bias is not fair, understanding it ensures that our contributions are evaluated on merit rather than filtered through unnecessary negative impressions. And this one isn't always easy to do, but if you can, implement blind reviews. So whenever possible, try to utilize anonymous or blind review processes for things like code reviews or design critiques or brainstorming new ideas. For instance, on FigJam or Miro, make sure your names don't show up on the sticky notes, things like that. This approach can help eliminate bias based on an individual's reputation or their past successes. And next, understand that aesthetics carry a significant amount of weight. So visually appealing designs, things like a presentation deck or a well-crafted email, can and will influence our team's perception of the content, and that'll lead them to view an idea more favorably if the design is more appealing. However, it's important to remember that the aesthetic usability effect has its own limitations. Next, manage your professional image intentionally. So listen to your grandparents when they told you to sit up straight, because key elements of personal presentation, things like combing your damn hair, an organized workspace, and attention to detail will significantly affect how our team perceives our competence and evaluates our ideas. So don't let these ridiculous little things be the reason that you have trouble influencing your team. And then lastly, first impressions count. Your initial interactions with all those team members when you join a new team, they will establish patterns that can persist throughout your entire working relationship. And it can be very hard to shake those bad first impressions. These early moments can and will create a professional reputation that can enhance or undermine your ability to influence and contribute effectively to the team. Well, all right, y'all, that's it for the Cognition Catalog for today. I hope I helped to shed a little bit of light on what the halo effect is and how we can avoid some of these pitfalls at work. But I'm curious, have you run into issues related to the halo effect before? How'd you get through it? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what you think on LinkedIn or shoot me an email at hello@beyonduxdesign.com. I'd love to hear from you. To learn more about the halo effect, you can find more resources at cognitioncatalog.com. Click the little bell down there so you get notified when a new episode drops so you never have to worry about falling for any of these cognitive biases again. And if you want to pick up some big, beautiful art prints of some select biases, make sure to check out beyonduxdesign.com/shop. Get free shipping on all orders over $30 and use the promo code YouTube to get 10% off your entire order. And if you have a favorite bias that you want to see in print, let me know. I'd be happy to take requests. Help keep the show independent and ad-free. Check out beyonduxdesign.com/support to find out how. You can join Chris, Siraquan, Stacy, Roddy, Megan, Andrew, John, Mark, Kevin, Jason, Michelle, Marty, Tino, Adina, Zoe, and many others, and help keep the show independent and ad-free. And you'll get exclusive access to the entire video library of episodes, including episodes before they're even released. Get instant access to those videos right now for as little as $5 a month. And until next time, remember, you're more than a designer because there's more to UX and design. I'll see you around. Take care, y'all.